Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to follow me on social media. There are links in the description below. A very big thank you to everyone out there who leaves a comment on every single video to help out the algorithm. I think we could have seen this one coming. This one seems like a little bit too obvious, if you will. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. If you've missed any videos over the course of the last 3 or 4 weeks, we have received news about an unprecedented, that's the real word, an unprecedented amount of companies who have announced their foray into the cryptocurrency space. If you missed the other video, this comes after hearing Michael Saylor, who is the CEO of MicroStrategy. I refuse to call it strategy because it just sounds stupid. Just call it the CEO of MicroStrategy, who basically announced that their stock, if you missed it, went up by 3,000% since announcing that they were going to be acquiring Bitcoin. On top of that, he said that other companies are basically going to have no choice in the future. The problem is that, let's say you have 1,000 companies and you see 5 of them getting into the Bitcoin space and their stock does well. You as another company are going to go, well, we should also get some as well. If 5 more jump into that pool and you see their wealth going up, the other 900 companies are going to go, well, should we get a tiny bit of Bitcoin, allocating 3, 4, whatever million dollars into it? Their stock goes up. Every other company is kind of then forced in a way to accumulate Bitcoin. But as they do this, they also raise the price, therefore making it more difficult for other companies who are thinking of getting into the space. They're forced to buy at a higher price. The price goes higher and it keeps, I guess, trickling upwards in some sort of way. So nearly daily, we're hearing about these new companies, and here's another one. This is a company in Indonesia. They're called DigiAsia. They have officially formalized their plans and their ambitions to buy Bitcoin. The really interesting part is that many companies, years ago, we're very desensitized to numbers. Understand that. We are used to hearing two sides of the equation. Years ago, when companies were announcing they were buying Bitcoin, they were buying like $500,000. This is years ago. $500,000 worth of Bitcoin. We're going to buy $1.8 million. But then the other spectrum is MicroStrategy announcing $2.1 billion. We're going to be buying 20. If you missed the other, when this happens, if Bitcoin's not over $3 million, I don't know what's going to save the world. MicroStrategy announced another plan that they're planning on accumulating another $84 billion worth of Bitcoin. That's not a fake number. Google it. They're making another 42 plan to accumulate $84 billion. So this company, the number's gigantic, but I needed to warn you just because we're used to hearing MicroStrategy numbers. DigiAsia is going to be buying, it's still a lot, $100 million. Yeah, see, it's still a huge amount of money. Who would love to have $100 million right now? $100 million to diversify their portfolio. The craziest part is that they're also planning on, in the future, using 50% of their future net profits for Bitcoin purchases as well, which means we now have another company who's joined the fray, who announced that they're going to be buying huge amounts of Bitcoin. Do you understand how much money $100 million is? And I'll give it to you this way as well. Even crazier. When Bitcoin goes to 1 million, this company will have over $1 billion in Bitcoin just from that one acquisition. That's not even the other, for reference as well, future profits. 50% of it will go to Bitcoin. Do you know how much Tether uses? Tether uses 15. Tether, if you missed it a couple of weeks ago, Tether also just announced that just the company alone, they just got over 100,000 Bitcoin. That's the literal actual of just like buying and holding and continuously buying all the time. I know that a lot of people, I see the comments all the time, and I have seen them for years, of people doing DCA, dollar cost averaging, into the cryptocurrency market. And I told a lot of you years ago, I said, every little bit always helps. Don't tell anyone your numbers, but you know. How many of you, show of hands, have an enormous amount of crypto now because you have been buying over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years? The market goes up, the market goes down. You have those buy orders coming in. You're probably sitting on a nice little hefty sum just because of those purchases. On top of that as well, in what should be surprising news, but it never will be, I thought they weren't going to be able to do it, but they are proving me wrong every single couple of hours. There's a company by the name of Metaplanet. Yeah, Metaplanet is also super popular now because they were, I guess officially, the second company who announced that they were going to be mimicking MicroStrategy. They said by the end of this year, they want 10,000 Bitcoin. And by the end of next year, they want 21,000 Bitcoin. Even weirder. Michael Saylor also, like, what was it? They just had a discussion on Twitter or something like that where he was basically like telling them to buy more. Like it was in a nice way, but he was like, you're not doing enough, buy more. And I was like, oh my word, like that kind of thing. They recently announced that they now have over 6,700 Bitcoin. I assumed, excuse me, MicroStrategy. I mean, Microplanet, Planet Meta. I assumed they would not be able to get to this number until like the end of the year, which means that they're definitely going to get to their 10,000 Bitcoin goal, and then subsequently also 21,000. I will mention as well, I wonder what these companies are going to do in that. If they have 6,700 and they're trying to get to 10,000 this year, if the current price predictions for Bitcoin are $370,000 to $500,000 by the end of this year, will they be willing to spend 5x that amount to be able to procure more Bitcoin? And then subsequently even more, you know, what happens if Bitcoin does indeed go to $2.4 million in 2029, 2030? I wonder what the accumulation is going to look like at that point. Yes, companies continue to buy enormous amounts of Bitcoin. For every Bitcoin that they buy, they are literally taking Bitcoin away from, what is it? Several thousand people, hundreds or thousands of people around the world that's with that 0.003 Bitcoin number thing going on. So every time we hear that a company has 6,700 Bitcoin, that is, my friends, that's another 6,700 millionaires and billionaires who will never, ever have an entire coin, ever. It's mathematically impossible. When you hear another company is spending 100 million initially, if you missed one of the other videos, another company announced that they're getting into buying Bitcoin as well. Their initial purchase will be $1 billion. You are entering a world where many of you are holding more, listen, you're holding more Bitcoin than millionaires and billionaires will ever mathematically be able to own. Do you understand how crazy that is? Remember that whole, the whole 0.28 Bitcoin It's making a lot more sense. If you weren't here, 0.28 Bitcoin has to do with how much Bitcoin you need to be a part of the 1% of Bitcoin holders. It's making a lot more sense now, isn't it? Years ago, people were like, that's such a small number. If all these companies are holding thousands and tens and thousands and hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin for the rest of the normies, you can't ever own a full Bitcoin. If you have more than a fourth of a Bitcoin, you're in the 1%. It's making a lot more sense now. And I'm going to remember this for December, when we hear by the end of the year that MetaPlanet has 10,000 Bitcoin, when MicroStrategy has 1 million Bitcoin, when BlackRock is holding 1 million Bitcoin, we're going to have another conversation that another 800,000 millionaires and billionaires will never, ever be able to own an entire coin. Do you understand what all of this means? There was someone last point. Someone said on Twitter, they said people don't understand that the wealthy are about to like brawl it out, have a little slugfest over Satoshis, like the smallest fragments of Bitcoin, desperately trying to get as much as possible. Well, yeah, that's going to do it for this video. We keep getting news like this, so hopefully people have been paying attention in some sort of way. I don't know. Maybe it's just random, before Bitcoin goes to $500,000 per coin. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.